The heart of your teams. The heart of Ohio. Valley Sports Great Lakes and Valley Sports Ohio. The heart of the fan.
Hi in the Rockies. Welcome to the Mile High City, Denver, Colorado, where the Rockies have not been very hospitable to Cleveland over the years. The Guardians have lost 8 in a row here at the Rock Pile. We'll see if they can get that changed here tonight. It's game 1 of a 3-game interleague series. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Andre Knott will join us shortly. So they've dropped 8 straight here. For whatever reason, this is a hitter's paradise. They don't seem to hit when they come here, but they've got the right man on the mound to start this series. Game 57, number 57 on the bump for Cleveland.
I didn't realize that. Well, Shane Bieber, you're right. They have the right man on the bump. If you remember in his last start, had an opportunity for a win, but then all of a sudden in the 5th inning, the rain came. He got 4 1/3 innings, couldn't get the last out, didn't get the win, but he was throwing the ball very well. You look at it in his last 5 starts, 2-1 record of 167. That breaking ball's getting better, the velocity's getting a little bit more, and his control has been outstanding. So he's a great guy to have on the mound. In this matchup tonight, he's going to be matched up against Antonio Senzatella, who's 2-3. But you look, he's given up a lot of hits in 41 innings, 67 hits, but he doesn't walk anybody. Yeah. So, you've got to take advantage of him. He keeps the ball in the ballpark as well.
That's our Discover matchup for tonight. Something else to keep in mind. Cleveland's not a big power hitting team, right? But 32 of their 46 home runs have come on the road this year. So maybe they take advantage of the hitter-friendly environment here.
Let's hope so. It's a good park to hit in, as you say, not only for home runs, but base hits, because this is a spacious outfield. Yeah. You got to be careful in that outfield, not get too deep, because a lot of balls will fall in front of you. But this park averages 11.5 runs per game, on the season. So we should see some runs scored here.
Yeah, and Cleveland's averaging 3 extra base hits per game on the road. Hopefully that all plays well for the Guardians here tonight. We'll check in with Andre Knott when we come back, all ahead of tonight's first pitch between the Guardians and the Rockies. Cleveland Guardians baseball is brought to you by Meyer. When we support the home team, we all win. Your Northern Ohio Toyota dealer. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by the new Epic Pepperoni Stuffed Crust Pizza, only at Papa John's. The Guardians and the Rockies. Shane Bieber will be on the mound for Cleveland. Let's go down to Andre Knott. We've had this conversation. It's almost like a running gag that we keep continuing about the quality start. Where does Shane stand on this subject?
I don't want to say it's a running gag, but I think it's good to hear starting pitchers talk about what quality is to them. And on this Guardian staff, 6 innings pitched and 3 runs given up. That's not enough. We've talked to Cal Quantrill about what a quality start is to him. Tonight, we hear from Shane Bieber on what is expected amongst himself and the other 4 starters when they're on the bump.
Quality starts are cool, and I guess that's a statistic, but we're not interested in quality starts. We're interested in better than quality. So I think that goes for not just Cal and myself, but everybody. And I feel like what I take pride in terms of the starting staff specifically is how we go out there and compete. Sometimes you're met with adversity, whether it's rain delays, rain cancellations, early runs, just whatever it is, whether we're scoring early runs in our dugout and you have to sit here longer than normal, or if you give up a couple early runs in the 1st and 2nd inning, you still got a job to do, and you got to go out there and elongate your outing and ultimately compete, and I feel like we do a really good job of that as a whole.
Compete. That's what they're all about tonight, competing. Arch, you and I have talked about this. We're in Colorado. What difference will that make for Shane Bieber? Will he be as sharp with his slider and curveball? That's something we'll all be paying attention to early in this contest versus the Rockies.
Yeah, you're right, Andre. I think he'll be just fine here. But you know what? You're out there as a starting pitcher. Your job is to do whatever you can to keep your club in a ball game and a chance to win it. Doesn't matter how many runs you give up. Doesn't matter how many innings you go. Just win. Give your team a chance to win. He'll be fine. I hopefully mentally he doesn't want to think that curveball's not going to break or anything like that. It's not as bad as people think.
That's a great point you make. You can let this ballpark and this city and this atmosphere get inside your head.
Right.
when it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen. I don't think it will. He's been throwing the ball very well.
We'll be back with tonight's first pitch between the Guardians and the Rockies coming up next. Yesterday, it was scorching hot. At one point, I looked at my phone, and it said 99 degrees. Today, much more mild. Temperature hit about the mid-80s. But the great thing about Denver, I noticed last night, Rick, it's similar to Arizona in that once that sun goes down, there's no humidity.
Right.
Because I guess it's an arid climate. Boy, it was so nice. Once you settle in for a ball game tonight, it's going to be perfect.
Stay hydrated, though, my friend.
Yes, that's
Drink
true.
plenty of water because this thin air up here gets you a little dizzy.
Some people learn the hard way.
As we all know, though. Yep. I'm just trying to warn you.
I got you.
All righty.
Well, this is always a fun trip because we don't get to come here very often. It's a beautiful city. It's a gorgeous ballpark. But as you said when we were going to break, this atmosphere, you see it all the time in football. There's a home field advantage for the Broncos because it's a mile high. Terry Francona was talking about when he played at Colorado Springs. He said, I couldn't figure out why I was always like gassed. I could never catch my breath or felt like I was out of shape all the time. So there is a real element to it, but you can also make it bigger.
True.
And actually have it kind of hamstringing.
And we've said it before when we're in spring training out in Arizona, the thin air, the light air, your breaking ball doesn't break as much, and it can get into some guys' heads. This guy pitches better at his home park than he does on the road, Sanzatella. So, you don't worry about it. You go out there, and when you're throwing your breaking ball, if you don't think it's going to break as much, start it on a lower trajectory and let it bounce in front of the plate or whatever. You'll get a feel for it. And the sliders, we'll keep an eye on it tonight and see what we think. I know Shane Bieber's been throwing well, but we'll take a look and see what Antonio Sanzatella is going to do. He is 2-3 this year, and both those wins are coming home. So we will take a look at him. He is 2-0, well, actually 1-0 in his career. He's made 2 starts, both in 17. He is 1-0 personally against them. The team is 2-0. You'll see a lot of fastball, sliders, and a changeup. But I think if you're a Guardians hitter, you look for that fastball and get on it.
All right, let's take a look at the starting lineup for Terry Francona and the Guardians, presented by Progressive. Miles Straw will lead it off. Ahmed Rosario in the 2-hole. Jose Ramirez batting third. Oscar Gonzalez, he'll get a chance to bat cleanup tonight. Josh Naylor will hit fifth. Owen Miller will DH and bat sixth. Andres Jimenez, Stephen Kwan, Austin Hedges rounded out.
And defensively for the Rockies, and they have made 50 errors on the year. Their defense is brought to you by Rally House. It'll be Hilliard in left, Daza in center, Grichuk over and right. On the infield, third to first will be McMahon. Iglesias, we've seen him many times before. Rogers at second. Crone is at first. Servin is doing the catching.
Charlie Ramos is the home plate umpire. Chris Conroy at first. The crew chief right there is Ron Culpa. He's chatting up Mike Sarba, trying to get a feel for the Guardians ball club here tonight.
Well, we'll see. By the time they get used to the air here and get ready for it, we'll be on our way to L.A. by the time they get used to it.
Yeah, the one thing about Denver, look, the Rockies are in last place in the NL West, but in Denver, they're a different team. They play better at home. Their troubles this year have been on the road. They're 7 games under 500 on the road. They've played 500 ball here at home, so you know you're going to get their best shot. Be nice to see them score early. That has been a good calling card for this Cleveland ball club. When they can score first, they are a very successful ball club. So here's Miles Straw, 5th in the league in the American League in runs scored, 8th in walks. And he takes a first pitch strike on the outside corner from Sanzatella. Guardians have lost their last 8 games played here at Coors Field, and that dates all the way back to 2003. They took 2 out of 3 from the Rockies the first time they ever played back in 2002. Cleveland won the series finale. Haven't won here since. Little topper back to the mound. 1 away. Take a look at the pitch arsenal for Antonio Sanzatella. StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. heavy dose of fastball.
58% of those. He'll throw the slider, and you can see the curveball and changeup. You will not see much. But this guy, he doesn't know if his fastball's cutting or it's going to sink. He throws a four-seamer, and it goes whatever way it wants to, it seems like.
Some guys have the ability to truly manipulate the ball. He's a guy that, from what we understand, he grips it and lets it go. Sometimes the way your finger placement is or the way it comes out of your hand, it might cut, it might go straight, might stay true.
And it's not like he's wild. He's only walked 6 guys at home this year, and this is start number 7. He's got a very good control, but what he will do is give up base hits. And he's given up a lot of them. 67 hits in his 41 innings of work. So you should have base runners. You got to take advantage of them when they're on there. Get some hits with runners in scoring position.
Well, this guy's heating up, boy. There's no shortage of hits in that bat that Ahmed Rosario carries. He's got a 7-game hitting streak in which he's gone 12 for 29. And he's hit, there you see, in the month of June, almost 350.
And he's 3 for 6 in his career against Sanzatella.
There's a line drive single into right field.
Change that. Make it 4 for 7.
So a 1-out base runner for Jose Ramirez. Storylines are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Jose Ramirez, he does it all. And Shane Bieber, see how he does pitching here in the Mile High City.
I'm sure people out here that, they hear or read or see a lot about Jose, now's the time they get a chance to see him in person.
He's 5th in all of baseball in home runs. He leads the major leagues in runs batted in. He's 9th in all of baseball in doubles and tied for 1st in triples.
As Kyle Quantrill said on Sunday, he is the most important player on any team in baseball because of all he can do for the Guardians. One other quick thing as you guys are kind of setting the pace, talking to the coaches and talking to the players after going through batting practice, they say this is the fastest infield outfield that they've dealt with. The grass is really low, skips a little bit. Just keep that in mind as you go out the road.
Just what you need here. Not that the ball flies a little bit farther, but the grass is quicker too, so the balls can get through the infield.
Well, one thing to keep in mind, and this is something that Mike Sarbaugh told me, they've talked to all their hitters and their base runners. Ground balls that get through could be doubles.
Yes,
because the outfielders play so deep. There's a little topper towards second base. They'll get 1 and 2. Senzatella is out of the 1st. And the Rockies are coming to bat.
Will be the Guardian starting pitcher, brought to you by your Northeast Ohio Ford dealers. And Shane is a road warrior. You see he's 3 and 3. On the road this year, 2 and 1. In his career, 28 and 9. And he has allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in 34 consecutive road starts. How's that for dealing?
That's pretty good. Here is Bud Black's starting lineup for the Rockies, presented by Progressive. Charlie Blackmon will DH and lead it off. Jonathan Daza will play center field. He's in the 2-hole, and he's a very talented hitter. Brendan Rodgers bats 3rd. C.J. Crone having a big year, hits cleanup. Ryan McMahon is 5th. Jose Iglesias batting 6th. Then it's Randall Grichuk, Brian Servin, and Sam Hilliard. Shane Bieber winds it up, and his first pitch catches that outside corner for a strike.
This park, when I'm looking at it up here, is pretty much set up like Progressive Field is, where the sunlight's going to be in the first baseman's eyes until 6:40 starts.
Line drive and a catch by Jimenez in shallow right field for out number 1.
Yeah, I don't know if I should put a line drive to the second baseman or sort of to the. I got to add a couple of digits to it because he was in shallow right. My goodness, he smokes that ball down and in.
That's a new defensive position. It's S9.
That's 4.5.
Short right.
Oh, short right is what you got.
Yeah.
I was going to say 4.5.
We could go 4.5.
Here is Jonathan Daza. He's 2nd in the National League, batting .331.
Yeah, this is a guy that just puts the bat on the ball, doesn't have a home run. It's well over 300 at home and on the road. 4 doubles, a triple. He's just a contact kind of guy, pretty much like a lot of the guys we watch.
2-0 pitch, fastball in there. I feel like Rockies scouts could fall out of bed and find hitters.
I'm sure they could. Yeah, they've been hitting here for years and years.
Swing and a miss. Boy, that was a nasty breaking ball.
Yeah, well, it's still breaking. Andre, there you go. There's a really nice slider there.
Here's a tough thing with Daza. He hits 318 with 2 strikes.
Yes, that's amazing, isn't
Yeah.
it? Well, let it go foul.
I mean, that says a lot about him in the box.
And then he's not afraid to hit
right
when he gets 2 strikes because he's hitting well over 300.
I mean, when do you see that ever? The guy's hitting 300 with 2 strikes.
Yeah, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Is that, you think, a product? You know, we used to hear about with 2 strikes, put the bat on the ball, put the ball in play, and he's got enough ability, like so many of these Cleveland hitters, that when you go to that 2-strike approach, good things happen.
Yeah, right. Yes, it is. But I mean, first of all, you have to stay on the fastball. You can't pull off anything and try and pull it. So I'm sure he goes to the opposite field a lot. When you're waiting on a baseball that long, the longer you get to see it, the better chance you've got to at least hit it.
Weak ground ball. Ramirez cuts it off and throws him out 2 down.
Let's check out that Guardians defense, brought to you by Rally House. It looks like this. In the outfield, it'll be Kwan in left, Straws in center, Gonzalez over and right. On the infield, Ramirez at third, Rosario at short, Jimenez at second, Naylor is at first, and Hedges doing the catching.
Here is Brendan Rodgers. Two weeks ago, he was the National League Player of the Week. He batted .345, a couple of doubles, 4 homers, and 7 runs batted in.
He's from born in Winter Park, Florida, down there where our old stomping grounds used to be, huh? For spring training. Winter Haven, Florida. Winter Park, right around there.
Do you suppose the folks at Winter Park were like, darn, somebody already took Winter Haven. What are we going to call ourselves? Oh, Winter Park.
Yeah, well, how about Winter Park?
2-1. That was a great pitch.
Yeah, it was. That's borderline, but that's really a good pitch.
That's a strike all day long.
Yeah, you stay there. You better get him later. You're going to see it right on the edge, and it was not high. That was a good pitch.
He ends up walking him at him. With 2 down, that'll keep the inning alive now for C.J. Cron, and he, the former Angel, is having himself quite a season.
Yeah, he got off to a very good start with him, and they started off the season very well. You know, winning some games, and he was a big reason why, because he was hitting homers and driving them in. They were 16-11. Remember when all the clubs out in the National League West were above the 500 mark. But since then, they're 11-23. And you look at his home run chart, he's hit 6 fastballs out of the ballpark, 3 changeups, 3 curveballs, 2 sliders. He's got an upright stance, but he's got very quick hands and good wrist. Strong man.
And thrives here in Denver. He's batting .358 at home.
That's a nice feeling, you know, when you're coming to the ballpark and you love your park to hit in, because it does jump. And he's got good pop the other way. As I see Miles Straw moving over to the right field side a second.
Got him looking, fastball, that's paint. And the Rockies are out here in the first. No score after 1 in Denver.
Ballpark app will complete your next visit to Progressive Field. You can buy and manage game tickets, unlock offers, access exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today.
Second inning, Oscar Gonzalez will lead it off. Moving into the cleanup role. I asked Terry Francona about this before the game. He said, don't look anything into it. Don't read anything into it. It's, I don't know if he's going to stay there, but right now, he said, Tito's not afraid to move guys in and around the lineup, except there are certain guys, like he's not moving Jose Ramirez. There's certain players that they fit, and he's not going to mess around with them. But he said a lot of our guys, I can move them around because they don't change who they are as hitters.
I think he wants to see what this guy can do in the fourth spot as long as there's not too much pressure on him.
And he said, look, whatever I do, I have to protect Jose Ramirez.
Right.
I have to have somebody behind him. And he said, the way Oscar's swinging the bat right now, he's hot.
I agree with him. Now's the time to put him in there, not when you're scuffling a little bit at the plate, when you're swinging it very well, and he's been swinging it from day one.
Arch, the amazing thing is they've found guys throughout the season to bat behind Jose that have been able to protect him,
No.
I mean, not the
prototypical,
cleanup hitter, but that's not here because we don't have a guy. Even though Reyes is hurt, I think this club has moved on, and it's benefited the club more since he's been out because he's been able to give guys off and DH players to get them off their feet that need to be off their feet for a day.
We thought Franmil Reyes would be the guy batting cleanup, protecting Jose Ramirez. And what happened? He went down. Opportunity.
Right.
And opportunity, a lot of these guys have seized it.
Yes, indeed. Good way to put it. And a nice eye there.
He's taken 2 pitches already in this at bat, low pitch as well. I'm almost past thinking he's a free swinger after everything we heard because it seems like he only swings at strikes for the most part since he's been up here.
Well, you're going to swing at balls out of
look at that.
the zone.
Right down the chalk.
Hey, I heard Francisco Lindor was just a defensive player too before he came up. I heard that too until he got up here.
He's got about 47 RBIs this year so far.
Maybe it's a euphemism for free swinger, but I like the way Tito told us before the game. He's ultra aggressive.
Yeah.
And I think there's a difference between being a free swinger, being aggressive.
That's correct.
This guy seeks he goes out there to try and do damage, hit line drives, vicious line drives.
And the more at-bats he gets, the better he's going to be. I can't wait till they quit taking him out of the ball game in the 7th inning on a lead and put Mercado in. This kid's got to learn how to play out there through the whole game.
He's putting a great at-bat together right here once again.
Indeed. Antonio Senzatella got a double play ball, helped him out of the first inning after giving up a hit. 2-2 got in on him, popped him up.
It's all right. It was a strike anyway.
Rogers, the second baseman. 1 down. Time to check out our Liberty Mutual field coverage by ballpark. Coors Field, not at the top of the leaderboard, but not too far off the pace either.
No, but this ballpark will kill you the deeper you play in the outfield because there's more balls that fall in front of you than go over your head.
We will discuss that when the Guardians are back in the field.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you, they're a little different than where they are usually. And that's how I'll start it. We'll talk later about it.
Josh Taylor takes a high fastball. I will say this, and from a guy who played here, Ryan Smilborg's a radio announcer for the Rockies. He said, look, if a ball hit over your head, it's not going to be in the ballpark anyway.
Right. Yeah, he's seen enough of them, and he played out there.
Good point.
More will beat you to start rallies in front of you than get over your head. And what I always say, Andre, if it's over your head, it's a pitcher's fault.
Not your fault.
That's right. It's a pitcher's fault.
Josh Naylor fouls a pitch off.
Matt asked Josh what he did on his off day yesterday after he asked me what I did. And he said he didn't leave his hotel room. He said he laid around all day long, watched movies. He said, when you get to my age and been through what I've been through, that's what I needed with a day off for.
Absolutely.
Sounds familiar.
Naylor crushes one right field deep down the line.
Fair.
It's a fair ball into the corner. And he'll head into second base with a 1-out double.
That was like it was in slow motion.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking.
Because it never came down, did it? That was like the blimp flying down the right field line.
Is that the Denver thin air?
Denver has
That's off the end of the bat is what it was. It had to be. Either that or his bat was cracked. But that thing never came down.
I think he thought it was foul when he first hit it.
But it was. You knew it was going to stay fair. I could tell from up here it was going to stay fair. But that's a nice double for Josh. That's number 8.
And up comes Owen Miller, serving as the designated hitter. He's 10th in the majors with 16 doubles, one behind his teammate Jose Ramirez. And as we talked about with Franmil out of the lineup, the opportunities, well, Owen Miller was a guy and will continue to be a guy that gets chances to bat in that cleanup spot. And Terry really sang his praises and, hey, he did fine when he batted cleanup.
Yeah, he sure did.
He didn't change who he was as a hitter. He didn't start trying to, pull the ball or hit home runs.
He put up really good at bats.
Right at the shortstop, Iglesias, and that is out number 2. And that will bring up the red-hot Andres Jimenez. He has 16 hits in his last 14 games. And he's their best hitter with runners in scoring position. He has 20 hits to lead the ball club. And he's got a chance to drive in the first run of the night.
Another 2-out run. This is where you have to take advantage here. If you're going to get your base runners with Sanzatella, get that hit early with somebody on base and let your guys go through it. If he's on his game, he'll get a lot of ground balls. He got the ground ball double play in the first inning.
Right back up the middle. Oh, Sanzatella makes an unbelievable play.
Sure did.
He gets himself out of trouble. And the Guardians are out here in the second, no score midway through inning number 2. Home half of inning number 2 here at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. Shane Bieber misses down low, ball 1 to Ryan McMahon, who signed a 5-year, $70 million contract extension in spring training. Some people, and you've talked about this, Rick, feel like he's trying to prove to people that they made the right decision, that he was worth the money. He's already made 11 errors. That's 4 more than all of last year.
Well, yes. And that's so true. Sometimes players certainly do that. But their defense, you cannot afford in this ballpark with as many runs as they score here, give up extra outs. You've got to play, excellent defense here because it's tough. It's a big field. And the more outs you get, boy, those pitchers are in trouble.
He hasn't seen a breaking ball like that from Shane Bieber, and he goes down swinging. Tried to hold up, couldn't do it. Second K for Biebs. 1 down here in inning number 2, and Jose Iglesias headed to the plate.
Well, here's a good slider from Bieber. Oh, that might have been the knuckle curve that went down in the dirt. Remember, Jose, it started out maybe a little lower. It'll go out in front of the plate. That wasn't even close, and he swung.
Jose Iglesias. He is 6th in the National League, batting .309.
I knew he was going after that first pitch. He's faced Bieber before. Coming up with Detroit, we remember him there. Went to Cincinnati. He's been around, but he's having a nice year here. Look at that.
Just serves it in center field.
Just put the bat on the ball. It was away, but he slowed his swing down enough to get enough of it. Put it into center field. Their first hit of the day.
You could almost predict the pregame conversations in the Rockies clubhouse. Teammates going up to Iglesias. Hey, what do you have on Bieber?
Yeah.
Swing early. Don't let him get the 2 strikes.
That's right. Well, you know what? That was a good pitch Bieber just made right there. That was down. It was away. It was on the edge or just a little off. And he was able to get a hold of it. So that, give him credit.
Randall Grichuk.
This is a guy, too. Be careful. You can't have a conversation with these 2 guys up, because they swing at the first 2 pitches.
Took a breaking ball for ball 1.
All right, Arch, for our outfielders, Gonzalez and Quan are about 12 feet deeper than they usually are because of the dimensions.
Okay.
In center, our guy is 15 feet deeper, Miles Straw, than he usually is. Now, Miles may change up on that now.
He doesn't look like it to me from where I'm sitting.
I think Miles is about his normal depth.
I think the other two on the corners, which is fine. Here from right center field, a little right of Miles Straw now, where the bullpen is for the Guardians, to left field. That's the area you got to cover. That's Triple's area.
Right field, right at Oscar.
Oh.
And he recovers in time to make the catch.
Didn't get over, did it?
Wow.
Nice, and that's a line drive.
Yeah.
Now, if that line drive's not over your head, he's in the right spot. And here's where you have to protect with other guys, too. I mean, this is the toughest one to react. Now, he's looking into the sunshine, too, folks. So realize, he got a tough read coming off the bat, but he adjusted, he didn't turn his back, and he reaches up and makes a nice play. Way to go.
Helps to be 6'4" on that play.
Yes, it does.
I mean,
yeah, you don't realize how big that kid is. I didn't
Right.
realize that I saw him on the plane. I'm going, my goodness.
That ball was scorched, too.
Yeah,
I mean, that
was.
Not an easy play, but 2 down now. Brian Servin, the Rockies catcher tonight. He's 1 for his last 11, but he has a hit in 6 of the 12 games he has started behind the plate.
Yeah, I'm so glad we're coming to a National League ballpark where we don't have to watch our pitchers hit again. and I mean that in a good way. Let's go. DH all over. I love it. I mean, not only that, you worry about somebody getting hurt,
That's
too.
the biggest thing.
That for us, it is, because pitchers are our thing.
You're doing something that you don't normally do. One ball, one strike. Tristan McKenzie will pitch on Thursday in the series finale.
He's one that wishes he was hitting.
Oh, yeah. Him and
Well, I know. They all say that. They all
Zach,
do.
yeah.
They all want to hit, but I'm glad they're not.
I'll pass that along.
Well,
runner goes, and a line drive up the middle. That's through. On his way to third is Iglesias. Straw quickly gets it in. And the Rockies have runners at the corners with 2 down.
See, that's exactly what we just had a chance to see. When that runner's starting, you've got to get to the ball quickly as an outfielder and get it in as quickly as possible. They start their runner with 2 outs, and he ends up getting a base hit. And you can see he's going to continue to roll. He's got a long way to go, so get it in quickly. They do, so second hit of the inning. He's first and third now with 2 outs.
That looked like a rare, it might have been a slider that just didn't have any bite to it. Just
okay,
flattened
spinner
out
away.
Now the number 9 hitter, Sam Hilliard.
Well, I have noticed now in the first 2 hits, everything's been away to those 2 hitters too.
Rip foul.
Now there's a smart ball boy. He put the foot out, stopped it, and then picked it up.
This isn't soccer. Come on.
That's a smart one. He doesn't even have a glove.
I wouldn't say that was smart, that part.
Swung on and missed. 0-2.
There you go. Good pitch. Breaking ball. That's a curveball. Okay. I think that looked like it was going straight down. He started it on a lower plane. Now you can bounce it. If you're at first base, they may try and send him because I think he'll throw another one.
Runner does not go, and he did come back with that pitch.
Why not? That's a good pitch. You can get chases on it, and you got the 9th place hitter up.
Tops that foul. Count stays 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sam Hilliard hitless on their most recent road trip. Got it.
There you go.
Took a fastball right down Blake Street. And the side is retired to Rocky Strand, a pair, no score through 2.
Well, it's a Sugardale Dollar Dog night when the Guardians host the Red Sox for a 3-game weekend series. You get to the game early on Friday for a $2 pregame in the district. Stay after the game for post-game songs you can't help but belt out themed fireworks display. Get your tickets at the ballpark app. Visit CLEGuardians.com.
I mean, I tell you what.
I'll tell you what, that is written beautiful.
That's well written, yeah.
Yeah, I can see all those people, karaoke people.
Stephen Kwan takes a fastball for a strike. He's hit it each of his last 4 games. Starting to heat up. 7 out of his last 15. Yeah, it's been a big bounce back. And I think, look, Terry Francona said it at the outset when Stephen Kwan was, remember we were joking he's not going to hit 750 for the whole season.
Right.
Well, Tino knew eventually, there will be adjustments to be made. And taking him out of the 2-hole, dropping him down on the bottom part of the lineup, maybe took a little heat off of him.
You know what I like? He's still got the same eye at the plate. He doesn't go outside of his strike zone to change, even when he was struggling. He was just hitting the ball in the air too much and making some easy outs. So when you're hitting the ball in the air, you just hit up a little higher on the baseball and get more on a line or on the ground, which he's been doing, and hits are coming. Run, baby,
Slow
run.
chopper, bare hand grab, dynamite play, but it's
Beautiful.
safe at first. Kwan able to beat it out.
They may hold up and take a peek at that and see, but I'll tell you what, that's good hustle, and it was a beautiful play made by McMahon at third base. He got the ball barehanded and nicely. And then you see the throw all in one motion. Not an easy play. You got to make it perfect, but I think he beat it out. I think he's going to be safe.
Yeah, the Rockies will not challenge.
Just good hustle right there. Head down, and he was out of the box in a hurry. That's what gets you infield hits right there. Beautiful.
Hey, we were talking about the size of Gonzalez. I don't know if you guys can tell. For a third baseman, he's a big guy down here. To make a play like that is huge.
Yeah.
He's a bigger third baseman than most.
I'll tell you what, he did it nicely.
Andre, he was a big high school football product. He was a quarterback.
He looks like it.
At Mater D.
Oh, they never lose.
Matt Leinart, Matt Barkley.
Right.
Oh, wow. You guys are right
That's
at
big
home
time.
there.
Yeah.
Fouled out of play. Who was, Rick, I'm trying to remember, who was the third baseman for the Yankees? I think he was a Michigan quarterback.
Drew Henson.
Drew
Yes,
Henson, yeah.
Very good.
Didn't George Steinbrenner basically draft him so he wouldn't play against Ohio State? Is the whole story?
No, that would have never happened.
He might.
Come play for the Yankees, kid.
I know he was the highest paid college athlete.
Yes, he was.
He had a bank account before he made the pros.
Now they all do.
Isn't that the truth?
Austin Hedges, with Kwan at first, has hit in each of his last 3 games. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I got to get. He looks pretty quick to home plate.
That's what I was just thinking.
I'm timing him right now.
Oh, chased one and strikes out. 1 away.
First strikeout.
Check out our Medical Mutual 5-star report. That's something the Guardians don't do much of, striking out.
Right.
They are the hardest team to strike out in the majors because they don't swing for the fences. They put the ball in play.
They've done it really collectively as a team, just a beautiful job, and that's one of the reasons why hitting with runners in scoring positions is so important for him. Yeah, he's probably about 115 to 1-2, I would say. Average would be about 1-3 for a major league pitcher. Relatively quick, and they're, as I said, first baseman and the base runner looking into the sun.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I watched Kyle Hudson and Sandy Alomar on the iPad on the flight here, looking at every pitcher of Colorado. So if there's something to pick up,
oh yeah,
you know Sandy's on it. But like I think he's so quick they didn't even.
No, he is quick. You got to wait. You can't take off.
Barely takes a step.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? If you're going to do anything, you hit and run with Straw because he can go the other way. But he's just starting to get back into swinging it okay.
I also wonder, the park factor. You could score from first here.
Yeah, yes you can. If it's
Good
not
point.
directly hit at a ball player. You look at all the. This park reminds me a little bit of Detroit. When you go from right center field where the bullpens are over that right corner out there, all the way to the left field. Your left fielder almost has to be like another center fielder.
Right.
And we got a good center fielder there, so you got to protect from that point over because it's a double anyway down the line. So you give that double, you pull your right fielder over.
Two offering, struck him out.
Came inside, didn't go away, and elevated the fastball and got him to swing. Good pitch.
So here's an idea for those of you at home. This is how Coors Field compares to Progressive Field. Our field dimensions are the light blue wall.
Right.
Wow. You see there's a lot more outfield.
There's the tough angles right there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Right center, left center, and then you go out to left field. They've got a lot more room. And I looked. They have 10 triples on the year as a team, which is rated third in the National League, and we have 13, which is second in the American League, and that's pretty darn good.
Well, Hosey's got like half of those, doesn't he?
He's
like
got
4 or
three.
5.
He's got
3?
4 of them. Yes. There's a couple guys. Juan's got a couple.
Ahmed has 3.
Ahmed, yeah. There's some. You get in the top part of that lineup. Look out.
Well, Tito and the coaching staff feels like their players should fit this park.
I agree.
They're athletic enough that they should be able to play well here.
Yes, I agree with that.
Chopped up the middle. It gets through.
There's your fast grass.
Fought all the way to
Keep
third.
coming.
Ahmed's going for second. The throw is not in time. He goes in standing with a double.
You know why he just pointed Mike Sarbal? When they came in, Sarby grabbed Rosario as well as Jimenez to talk about that play up the middle and saying when it gets up the middle like that, the center fielder is so deep you can take a base.
Well, and again, this is another double.
Watch it skip right there.
That hit something hard and bounced up. Because, that just bounced. But you keep running. And Rosario does. We say that every day, but today it pays off for a double. That's an extra 90 feet for him right there. And with 2 outs, he didn't even have to slide.
Kind of goes back to what we were saying. Mike Sarbaugh told the hitters, in this park, think 1 extra base than you normally would think.
Right.
That's your thought process. Second and third, 2 down. And Jose Ramirez, will he see a pitch to hit?
Well, we will see. And you've got the rookie on deck. Let's see what. And Bud Black being a pitcher, he knows coming in, he's not going to let Ramirez beat him. Not saying that he's going to walk him.
That pitch came back on the plate, and Ramirez almost burned him.
Well, and he's staying on the baseball. He's not trying to pull it. Right there, he's got plenty of room in left center field. You could put
he's set up in the other batter's box.
But I think he's got so much movement on his fastball. That's why Jose's doing it.
Remember I said he doesn't know which way it's going?
And
That
Jose
one, he didn't want that one going in. He wanted it going away. Yeah, he got away with one there. That's because Jose was trying to take it the other way.
Two balls and a strike. Line drive and a base hit into left field. That'll score 2. Juan comes home. Ahmed Rosario scores as well. Jose Ramirez.
Oh, when will they learn?
61 runs batted in to lead the majors, and he puts Cleveland on top 2-0 with a 2-out, 2-run single with a base open.
He's too smart to think you're going to get away with him trying to pull a ball. The pitch before, I could tell he was trying to go that way, and he wants a base hit. That's all.
The catcher set up off the plate. So this is what I always ask you. If you're telling the pitcher to pitch around a guy, why not just put him on?
They should have. Well, you know what?
Yeah, it's just interesting.
You know what I say? Stupid. Don't put him on.
Can't fix stupid.
Think about it, Andre.
Ground ball up the middle. Oscar Gonzalez with a single, and Jose will stop at second base. That ball shot into center field in a hurry.
Well,
Can you
there's
guys
the
see how
spark.
fast? Can you guys see how fast the ball is on this turf?
Well, I did on Rosario's double. That thing, and that's what you do, hit it on the ground. But that's a shame that it's that fast, and then it carries in the air as well. Look how quickly it gets out to him, and that's another reason why they tell the outfielders to play deeper.
Darryl Scott, the pitching coach, out to chat with Senzatella, who has given up 3 straight 2-out hits here in the third inning.
And the first one will get him going, the one by Ramirez when they had a base open.
Well, again, this is a team that leads the majors in runners in scoring position batting average. And especially with 2 outs, that's how they make their bacon.
You know, you had better have great athletes in the outfield in this ballpark that can cover some ground, get it in quickly. This is a tough place to play every day.
Jose Ramirez, Rick, just going over the 600 RBI mark in his career with that 2-run single.
Yeah, he is amazing. Andre, that batting average will be up at 300, if not over, if he continues to do that all year, go the other way.
I think that's the next step of where he's at, because he knows how teams are pitching him, that he's willing to do that now.
Yes, that's great. I love to see it. He'll have a monster year.
Josh Naylor hit a double right down the right field line in the second inning. Antonio Senzatella looked like he was going to cruise through the inning when he struck out back-to-back hitters.
And then a bouncer through the infield. Should have been an out, was not.
Naylor pops one up on the infield. McMahon, the third baseman, has it. And the inning is over. Jose Ramirez, he is Mr. Everything for the Cleveland Guardians. He drives in the first 2 in Denver. Here we go. First pitch from Shane Bieber is a strike to Charlie Blackmon here in inning number 3. Charlie Blackmon hit a line drive into shallow right field, but with the defense shifted over, Andres Jimenez made a nice play on it.
Yeah, it was line out 4.5.
Swung on and missed. He went down swinging for the 4th K by Shane Bieber. Time for a Ken Ganley Kia game break. Here's Al Pulowski.
Yes.
Thanks, Al.
It's been a tough day for Pittsburgh. They've lost 9 straight now.
1 ball, 1 strike. Jonathan Daza pops one up. Foul territory. Oscar Gonzalez can't get there. And a count 1-2. Hearing Al's update, Mark Whitten just said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah.
Remember that doubleheader he had with the Cardinals?
Yeah,
at Riverfront? I think it was at Riverfront.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. He's been smoking for a solid month.
Yeah, you and I and Andre, we've had these discussions. He's a guy that, for whatever reason, has just sort of been off the radar, even though he's a really good player.
Into second or third for MVP because he played in Arizona, not playing for the right teams, but he puts up numbers every year.
Daza drills one deep right field, off the wall, played perfectly by Miles Straw, and they'll hold him to a double.
Well, He takes that ball, and you can see how that ball carries in the air out to right center field. Now, this is the guy that doesn't have a home run. Okay, and he just got a pitch to his liking, and he took it out. That's a fastball, and it was up and out over the plate. He shoots it the other way. Not with a real powerful swing, but it goes off the wall at the 375-foot sign. So that'll be a one-out double now. That'll be his 5th double for Daza on the year.
And the Rockies trying to come right back now. Brendan Rodgers drew a walk in the first. You gave the numbers, I think, when we first came on the air. This ballpark produces a lot of runs.
11.5 runs per game.
Nice
you
to
come
score
to this
first,
ballpark.
but you're never comfortable here, are
This
you?
park's always done that. No, you're never out of a ball game in this park. You're really not. You can have some big innings.
In that regard, it lends itself similarly to Fenway.
Yeah.
Wrigley on certain days.
You know, and it doesn't have to be the home run ball. This ball can stay in the field of play, and you can still put up a lot of runs.
Yeah, that's the one interesting thing about the Rockies. You know, maybe some people would not be surprised to hear this, but they're 22nd in the majors in home runs.
Yeah, right. 13th in the National League. So yes,
you would think, well, it's Coors Field. They must hit a lot of home runs.
And they're 7th in runs scored, but they're missing their big bopper. There's oh yeah, you've got him. Run at him.
Bieber with a low throw, but Ramirez with an easy scoop runs it back, tags him out. 2 down.
He wanted to save a throw.
So good heads-up defensive play by Bieber. Not sure what Daza was thinking, though.
No, you're caught in between. You're down 2-1. That was not a really good throw, but Hosey does the right thing. He was waiting for him. He's going to run him all the way back and not make a throw. He could have, but he didn't. And I was getting ready to say, Bryant, you know, their big guy that they signed, he hasn't played since April. He's been out. So that's a bat that I'm sure would have added a lot of power and some more RBIs and things like that.
And they had a winning record when he played for them.
Yeah.
Too. And it's been almost 2 months.
Yes, it has.
Yeah, a week from today it will be 2 months. And
wow.
He took batting practice today. He ran the bases.
He looked good, Matt. You brought that up.
He'll be out on the rehab.
He's always had some back issues, though. Even when he was with the Cubs, he had back problems. And that's why he's been out.
1-0 pitch in.
You got Crone on the first at bat on a painted fastball away. You slow it down out there and you don't get it off the plate. He can go out and reach it with that upright stance, and he's slightly opened, as you can see. He can reach that stuff and take it the other way.
Deep. And Miles Straw won't get it. It's off the wall and it skips past him. That'll get the Rockies on the board as Rodgers scores. And Crone's going to go into third base with a 2-out RBI triple.
Just like I said, that ball is a breaking ball away. You give him time and some swinging room, which he did. You go out there with the fastball, you can get it by him, but there it stays up. And you see on the outside edge, you didn't get it away far enough. And look, he just stays there. He didn't try to do anything with it. That's his power alley right there. Hits that one off the wall. So 2 balls hit off the right field wall on easy swings. And now they come back and answer, and they're on the board. For Crone, that's his second triple of the year.
And now Ryan McMahon. And he takes a breaking ball for a strike. This guy has 16 multi-hit games, which is second on the club to C.J. Crone, who has 21. Popped up. Shallow left, Stephen Kwan. Inning over, 3 complete from Coors Field. And the Guardians lead the Rockies 2-1. Check out the injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Atlanta's Ozzie Albies has a fracture in his left foot.
Yeah, I saw that last night. Did you see the swing? It didn't look good coming right out of home plate. But they're on a 12-game winning streak and winning right now 9-4 against Washington. They get 13.
Yeah, they have found their way, haven't they?
They certainly have. Philadelphia playing good too. The Oaks team in the East starting to play much better.
Yeah, the managerial change seemed to do something for Philadelphia.
Yes, it did.
You can't just say it's coincidence, right?
No. No.
In Anaheim, I don't know.
Yeah, different story there. They've had some injuries and were injured, but in Philadelphia it certainly worked. I remember when Dave Garcia took over the helm back in when Jeff Torborg was gone, we ripped off 10 straight, starting in Chicago.
Hit the side of the mound, and that's a break for the Rockies.
Yeah.
Rogers able to throw out Owen Miller one down.
Slow it down a little bit.
Andres Jimenez to the plate.
I don't know if I'd want to be an infielder. They got to play deeper here too if that grass is so fast. That's a tough combination. The quick, fast grass and the air that carries the ball when you hit it at the
I
air.
noticed it when we were down on the field before the game. It's the first thing that caught my eye. Like, man, that grass is tight. It's almost like a putting green. Kind of reminds me of Andre, the old Arlington ballpark.
Oh, yes, you're right. It was just that short there, too.
Yeah.
What do you want to bring a putter out there?
Yeah, it's like, wow.
Arch, would you like playing here, period?
Maybe for a road trip.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know.
I don't think every day.
No, I don't think every day at any position.
You better start the season at 250 pounds in center, and you'd end up 175.
Did you ever play any games in Colorado Springs in the minors?
No, we played in Denver. We played here.
You played here.
At Mile High Stadium. The Denver Bears back in 1974, I played here. Yeah. Not in this ballpark.
Did you notice it? Did you notice the difference?
I was too young. I didn't notice a whole lot.
Not much has changed with age.
Well, Andre,
don't understand.
Andre, that was, Tito doesn't talk a lot about his playing career, but he did mention, he said, I remember going to Colorado Springs and thinking, man, I'm out of shape. I can't get my breath here.
So he run a couple laps. He said, man, I'm hurting.
And then in true Tito self-deprecating fashion, he said, I didn't know anything about altitude. Nobody told me anything about it.
Well, from Pennsylvania.
No, he said, I didn't go to class a lot.
Ground ball right at the third baseman, McMahon with the shift on.
See how quickly that ball got to him and the hop he got?
Jimenez, I think, is angry because he tried to go the other way. And look, there's one guy over there, and he hits it right to him.
Yeah, and watch the hop he gets. This is a quick infield.
So with two down, Stephen Kwan to the plate.
Yeah, when you're young and you're coming out here and you've never been west of the Mississippi. Denver was a great town to come to. It's just, a big city.
Kwan goes the other way, and McMahon takes another hit away. Did he stay on the bag? Yes, he did.
Ooh.
Well, that's what they say anyway.
Well, he looked like he didn't.
The Guardians are saying wait.
We're
going to check. We'll see if there's a challenge. It looked like he came off the base, but the umpire was Chris Conroy
they waved
right
it off.
there.
Yeah, they waved it off. Yeah.
Nice defense by McMahon here in the fourth. It remains 2-1 Cleveland. All right, take a look at what the first baseman, C.J. Cron, was dealing with, the sun. He had to turn his head away.
That. He didn't even have any clue where that ball was going. What a great shot that was.
I'm going to guess he's not a big fan of the 6:40 start time.
No, and that's where they started all year. That's crazy. But it was just the proper angle because it was the third baseman in a little bit with the left-hander Quan hitting, and he was throwing it right into the sun. He had his shades on, couldn't see it, still caught it. That's why it looked so weird. I always was told you can't catch what you can't see. Well, he did. He caught it.
Line to center field, and that's going to get down for a base hit. So Jose Iglesias is 2 for 2.
Now that's a nice line drive stroke right there. Now there's a breaking ball that stayed up, and that usually does get hit up there. But on a line. Nice solid line drive. 5th hit now for the Rocks.
Randall Grichuk. He hit that line drive in the 2nd inning that Oscar Gonzalez made a nice play on. Ball was sailing over his head, and he jumped up and snared it.
Yeah, Grichuk's got very good pop the other way. He stays on it well. When he was in that lineup with Toronto, I think this is one of the guys they do miss in that Toronto lineup because he can hammer a ball the other way.
Going the other way again. This time it's on the ground and a base hit. So back-to-back singles to open the 4th for Denver.
2 pretty good swings by those guys to get on base and get it started. They're not trying to do much. Put the ball in play. Grichuk finds the hole between 1st and 2nd. 2nd time. That was an elevated fastball. So both pitches that were hit this inning have been up in the zone, and he has paid the price.
Ryan Serven, he singled to center field his first time up. It's already 6 hits now for the Rockies. Cleveland also has 6. And they lead it 2-1.
Good pitch there.
Serven steps out. Call to strike. Caught the inside corner.
I like seeing him go. You've got to pitch inside in this ballpark.
I don't think Serven is.
No, that was a ball. It was off the plate. But you have to go in there. You cannot, split that plate in half and just say on the outer half. You got to at least show him in there, and he did, but he got the call.
Now he's going for the punch out. But Serven won't swing at it. 1-2. Ground ball to third. Jose goes to second. There's one on to first. They turn 2.
Nicely turned by Jimenez.
Around the horn they go.
Yeah, that was turned beautifully. A 5-4-3. And it did not take Jimenez long to get rid of that ball. They needed it. Bieber makes his pitch. It's on a slider down and away. He tops it. Good relay. Good throw. And there you'll see it. Nicely turned. The bonus ball right there. 2 for 1, baby.
Sam Hilliard will be the batter with 2 down on the tying run at third base. Struck out looking to end the 2nd inning.
Bieber's looking at the balls now that he's getting. He had that one just thrown out of play.
Chops that foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Shane ready, the 1-1. Missed in off the plate. Beautiful shot from high above the first baseline. 3 balls and a strike. You got Charlie Blackmon waiting on deck. Boy, how about you're in a 3-1 hitters count, you're looking fastball, he throws the slider and just swung right through it.
Well, he had to throw a strike, and I mean, it had plenty of the plate. But you can see why your geared fastball, he went after it.
Swing and a miss. Hey, struck him out. What a job by Shane Bieber. Rockies had back-to-back hits to start the inning. He gets a double play and a strikeout and keeps the Guardians in front 2-1. Cleveland Guardians baseball brought to you by Sheely's, locally owned and operated for over 70 years. Your local Cadillac dealers, and by Union Home Mortgage, promises kept. Austin Hedges leads off the 5th now for Cleveland. Struck out his only time up. Pops this one up to left field near the line. Hilliard into foul ground, one away. And we'll get a word from Cleveland Clinic.
Cleveland Clinic. Get the care you need when and where you need it. Visit clevelandclinic.org/access.
Now, Sam Hilliard made that play look rather routine, rather easy. He probably had to run a good 40 yards.
Yeah, he had a long way to go, is right.
And it just brought back to memory when Dan O'Dowd left Cleveland and eventually became the general manager here for the Rockies. I remember him saying the one thing that he really focused on is defensively, you have to have 3 athletes in the outfield here.
Yeah.
You have to have guys that can run, that can go get it, and all those things. And so they made a concerted effort. Hey, when we're drafting outfielders, we can't just have a guy that's a plotter or somebody that's subpar defensively.
Can't hide anybody out in this outfield, that's for sure. Matter of fact, you could go with 4 guys out there and still be tough for him to cut it
right.
off.
The 3-4 here?
Yeah, 3-4 might work better than having just 3 guys out there.
I'll add one other thing. You got to be able to throw.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's so big. If you can't throw in this outfield, it's a problem.
That's true. And you better get it in quickly.
Poor Johnny Damon would have needed a cutoff man for the cutoff man.
Yeah. He would have been in trouble.
Miles Straw trying to shoot one into right, but it hangs in the air, and Grichuk able to grab it 2 down.
I want to ask you guys something about Miles Straw. You know, we watched him last year hit a lot of balls to right field and get hits. Have you guys seen anything different this year in how he's swinging or playing? Because it seems like those balls that were falling to right field last year aren't falling for him right now.
Yeah, but he's got to get on top of them.
Okay.
And hit more of a line drive, and don't be afraid to turn on the ball. See, he takes so many pitches, he doesn't turn on it. And you know what? People are going to start throwing him inside more to make him use his hands and not give him anything out over the plate. He can just serve it that way.
Yeah, your guy's already got 2 hits, so you know what's coming.
Oh, yeah.
Ahmed.
Oh, yeah, he's going to get another one. Hey, Ahmed, how about him? He's against Sanzatello, 5 for 8 in his career with 3 doubles.
Miles Straw is still playing great defense,
Yes.
but he's got the look of a guy that's frustrated
He
at the
is.
plate.
He is.
Can't seem to get it rolling.
Well, as Tito keeps telling me, as much as, you know, he's older, but he's still young in his career as well. So Tito said there's some patience with him because they know he's going through some things for the first time.
Well, tell him to start breaking out a bunt every now and then and do some other things to utilize the speed.
Best inning of the night for Antonio Senzatella on 5 pitches. He sets him down 1-2-3. Halfway through, 2-1 Cleveland. Our Kia player profile features Shane Bieber, the Road Warrior. In his first 50 road starts, he is 28-9, which is the best record in club history after first
that's
50 road starts.
That's unbelievable.
Charlie Blackmon leads off the home half of the 5th and takes a strike. He's 0 for 2. Pretty good pitch.
Yeah, he's looking in there. He wants to know if that ball was away. That was a pretty good pitch. Good pitch.
Better.
That's pretty much the first pitch that he hit his first time up, a fastball down and then that he was ready for. He might have been looking off speed pitch again.
2-2 right back up the middle, but Ahmed Rosario with the shift on throws him out. Spectrum Mobile replay. Shane Bieber 5 strikeouts through 4 1/3 innings. He's allowed 1 run on 6 hits. Only walked 1 batter.
Yeah, he's painted some edges there. That's been a pretty good pitch for him, that curveball tonight. I like when you get to 2 strikes, you bounce it on the plate. That's been a good pitch for him.
Arch, we talked about being in Colorado, but you know what the best thing I could say? Shane Bieber looks like Shane Bieber.
Yeah, he does. Yes.
You know, Dre, I don't know what the physics of it, but the one thing Ryan Spilborghs was telling Rick and I before the game with regards to breaking balls and the thin air in Colorado, the tighter the breaking ball, you don't see any difference. He goes, it's the guys who throw the big loopy curveballs.
Ones. Okay.
He said those get hit a mile here.
That makes sense.
You keep everything tight and hard. You know, that way,
Right.
even the fastballs, they'll play up top above the strikes. And that's why I'm looking forward to see McKenzie pitch here. But he's going to have to elevate it here. Just above and see if he gets after it. He'll go on the day game.
Hit in the air, left center. Kwan calling for it. And Miles says, go ahead, you take it. 2 down.
In a normal park, Miles would be right beside him.
There's not, but you see where they're protected.
Right.
He's going over that other side. You're right. He would never catch that ball in another ballpark.
2 down for Brendan Rodgers. And Bieber, he could really use a 1-2-3 inning. He's got a chance.
Yeah, well, he had 17 pitches last inning, but that was after the first 2 guys reached early. Got the big double play ball and the strikeout, but on a 9-pitch inning, his offense sent him right back out there. So you're right. He could use a nice, easy inning, if there is such a thing.
Up the ladder he goes, and a swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Swing and a miss. He lost the bat. And he'll head back to the dugout.
Hosey's got to teach him how to do that.
6 strikeouts for Bieber. He gets his first 1-2-3 inning. Stat of the game brought to you by your Northern Ohio Buick dealer. Most extra base hits through the first 56 games of the season. How about Jose and Shoeless Joe?
We're going to call him Shoeless Jose.
I would pay to see you say that to him, and the look he would give you.
They have no idea who Shoeless Joe is.
No. That was like yesterday when he came on the plane, or 2 days ago when he came on the plane, and he didn't see Hammy sitting behind us.
Right.
And he knew it was a different face, and he just stopped and he stared. And it was the best. Then he just kept walking after he realized it was okay.
Descalzo Jose.
Oh, look at you.
I looked it up.
That boy.
Quickly, too. You did that good. Oh,
And I probably butchered it too, so.
That's okay.
I'm sure you'll say it better later tonight.
Descalso.
I didn't say mezcal. I said descalso.
No mas.
Mezcalso Matty and descalso Jose. 0-2 pitch is down low. He did not go.
Well, I like that umpire at home plate. He asked quickly. He wasn't sure. He wanted to get some help, and down at third, the crew chief, Ron Culpa, said no way. He did not go.
Ramirez, a 2-run single in the third. That's the difference in the ball game right now. Slow chopper foul. He's now hit in each of the last 6 ball games. Must have heard me saying Andres Jimenez has been their best hitter with runners in scoring position, because that's when he had the big 2-out 2-run single in the third. So he has 19 hits with runners in scoring position, right behind Jimenez, who has 20. Two balls and 2 strikes. Slowed it down and missed up and away. Full count.
Yeah, that was a changeup, but wasn't a very good one. You could see everything slow down there.
I was thinking that. I'm like, are my eyes playing tricks on me there?
You were right. That body came out and his arm just sort
Yeah.
of, you didn't have the same arm speed as you would have on a fastball. Everybody in the stadium could see it.
Payoff pitch. Did it again.
Yes, he did, and he'll take his base. Should have walked him the last time.
Didn't even look comfortable with those last 2 pitches.
No, he did
Like,
not.
those are.
I mean, that was very.
He doesn't walk a lot of guys, and then you do
Well,
that.
here, I got a feeling I know why. Watch the
Watch. He slows everything down, even his arm, and it's up and away both times.
Well, that was. Remember last week I asked you about a guy like that. I said from the side you could tell he was slowing down, but you could tell from behind him and in front of him that he was doing it.
That's his 10th walk on the year, his 7th at home in 7 starts. So keep throwing your fastball. And, you know, the at bat before, he should have walked him when you had first base open.
It's almost like we know they were trying to pitch around him in that at bat.
Yes.
But because of the movement he has, he might not be able to throw it exactly where he wants to.
That's true. So that makes your point more valid.
That's probably why he was just lobbing those changeups. Like, I'm going to make sure I don't throw this anywhere near the plate.
Well, if Jose's going to try and run here like he likes to do when he gets on base, this is going to be a task for him, because he's quick to home plate. He's going to give his catcher.
Well, he's going to have to get past Sandy to be able to go. Because you think he would go this early?
Not going here, and Oscar chased one up out of the zone.
Oh, he'd go early if he thought he could steal a base. And I'm sure Sandy told him he's pretty quick, so be careful.
This is what Tito said, though, that he really likes about young Oscar Gonzalez. He may take a bad swing, but he steps out, he regroups.
Yes, he does.
He gets back to, okay, what's my game plan here?
He has a little team meeting with himself. You're right. I've noticed that early.
It's
you
good.
know, he takes a swing, and everybody's going to swing at pitches out of the strike zone, especially a kid that's just up in the big leagues for his first time. But when he does it, he steps out. And he I don't know what he tells himself or whatever, but he gets right back into the at bat.
There goes Jose. Throw down. Goes into center field. He's going to third. So they compound the problem. He's got 10 stolen bases, and the error puts him 90 feet away with nobody else.
He just creates stuff.
Yeah, he does. And you know, the catcher was really slow to second base. I thought he had a chance, you see, because he goes up, and it's not a great jump by any means, but he's going head first, and the throw was terrible, and it gets into center field. This is going to be a hard one to. And he gets back up and goes to third on the error.
I've had a stat that I've been holding on you guys. You know, they have each player's speed rate per season. Somehow or another, Jose Ramirez this year is running the fastest he has run in his entire career.
Infield in, swung out and missed. They got him to expand, and he went chasing And he strikes out for the first out here in the 6th inning.
Going to get a slider here. And there's not many of them, but he got him to chase it, kept it off the plate. Good pitch.
Well, a fly ball, and we're going to test that speed of Jose Ramirez. He'll be tagging up. Naylor jammed, but he pulls it and bangs it through the infield. 3-1 Cleveland. RBI number 33 for Naylor. And again, the Guardians continue to get big hits with runners in scoring position.
Well, right there, the walk, you know, he walked Ramirez, who stole second, error to third, and you're giving a free at-bat to a guy that all you have to do is put it on the ground in this ballpark, and if it's not right at one of them, you're going to get an RBI. Plain and simple. There you go. Naylor gets a hit with an RBI. Very nice.
He's 2 for 3 on the night.
Art, you just said something. If you hit the ball hard here and it's not right at an infielder,
right,
it's a good chance it's getting through.
Absolutely. That's why I'm saying, what's wrong with hitting a grounder?
Nothing.
Oh, and Miller fouls one back.
This is where you want to hit the ball on the ground in this ballpark. You know, you play this like in the older days, you'd play on an AstroTurf field because the ball, you know, it just shoots. It takes off on it.
Slow chopper. That's going to be a base hit for Owen Miller.
Yeah.
Hit it on the ground soft, too.
Hit change-ups. Hey, pitcher throws change-ups to get you out. Hit them to get hits.
Jose Ramirez has now equaled Brett Butler.
Wow.
Nice. Keep going, Jose.
164 stolen bases.
You know, one of the things he said when he signed, he said, I want my name at the top of every list that this team has. That's one of the reasons why I want to stay here. This place means so much to me. I want to put my name at the top of all the lists I possibly can. And he's well on his way to putting his name all over it, isn't he?
He's working his way up. He's passing by some big names.
Big names.
I mean, in a lot of different categories, not just one.
Arch, I got into a disagreement with a friend that's a Yankees fan who's telling me Aaron Judge is the MVP.
Yeah.
And I'm going, okay, he's hit a lot of home runs. He's played like 14 games in center field. You can't tell me Aaron Judge's impact is bigger than Jose Ramirez's. Now, I know I watch Jose every night, but just look at all the categories he fills up day after day after day.
You know it. I know it. People that watch him play know it. But I'm telling you what, when you get into New York, it's a different animal. Everybody talks about him. If Jose played in New York, he'd be the greatest player going. Let me put it that way.
That's a good point.
You wouldn't have to watch him play. If he was in New York, he would be the MVP. He would be the greatest player playing the game right now. The end.
Andres Jimenez takes a pitch down low, ball 1. He's a little salty right now. Twice he feels like he's had a hit taken away from him. Pitcher made a great play on him in the 2nd inning, and in the 4th tried to shoot it the other way, and there was only one guy on the left side of the infield to hit it right to McMahon. Bang bang play at first, he was out.
Yeah.
But here he is with runners in scoring position. Second time tonight he's had an opportunity. He's been really good. Now 20 out of 49 this year with that runner in scoring position.
Well, it's time for him to get a hit then. Jose got one today to get inch one closer. Now he needs one to up him up, get up.
It looked a little low, didn't it?
It sure did, but maybe at the bottom of the zone, 2-1.
As long as it's not the third one.
That's foul and out of play.
Yeah, he went after a pitch out of the zone there.
Struck him out. Boy, that was a good fastball. And there's one truth in hitting that I've come to really appreciate that you told me a long time ago, and that is, okay, look, there's two things. One, you can't hit what you can't see. And two, the pitch that's up, sometimes why would a guy swing at that? It looked like a ball, it was up. Because you see it so well, you want to get after it. That pitch right there, you can't hit it because you can't see, you don't pick it up well.
You don't see it unless you're absolutely looking for that pitch down there. Yeah, those low tracers are tough to hit. And Senzatella is not a strikeout guy. He has 4 tonight, though. That's a lot for him.
That call is going to be the one they're giving, huh? Down low.
Now he's found that spot and he's exploiting it now. And he needs to get out of this without giving up any more runs.
Yeah, you're right. He'd like to. He won't be around long.
Yeah, this is probably it for him. He's closing in on 100 pitches. Bullpen is ready behind him. Stephen Kwan in the hole 0-2. But he's one of those guys, tough to strike out. Pretty good chance he'll put it in play.
So he's teasing him below the zone now. He went down. It was not a strike to begin with. Others might have been borderline, but he wants to see if he'll swing at it. But this is where what the Guardians are doing this year are getting to some pitchers. They don't chase the pitcher's pitch. They tough pitches they've been able to foul off, and they're going to constantly make you make a good pitch if you're going to get them out.
Ground ball right at the third baseman, McMahon. And that will retire the side. With Jose Ramirez creating a run with his wheels here in the 6th, he walked, stole second, went to third on an error, and Josh Naylor brought him home. Bank of America, impressive tools. Since 1993, the Colorado Rockies have captured 11 individual batting titles.
How about that? I mean, twice as many as anybody else.
I want to say I wonder why, but we know.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly
But they had
helped.
some great hit. I mean, Larry Walker was a great hitter.
Oh, they had some tremendous hitters in this ballpark.
Blackman has been a great hitter as well, so I don't want to take away from those
You're
guys.
right. They've probably padded some numbers because of the Coors Field factor. But as I said earlier, they find hitters. I don't know how they scout.
You're right.
What their program is, they just always seem to find a handful of guys that make it through and get here and they hit.
What's the other team that Arch always told? Oh, Texas.
Yep.
Arch has always told us Texas has always been like that too.
Yeah.
Struck him out. C.J. Cron. That's the 7th strikeout for Shane Bieber.
Well, how about that adjustment after he gives up a triple to him on a slow breaking ball away? He comes back and made quick work and made an adjustment. Check out the pitch. He got him the first time on a low dart. You go away with heaters on him and force him to get it out that way. He likes stuff that's slow, and he threw it right by him.
All right, you kind of answered. I was going to say, so fastballs away from him are hard, but he can drive the ball the other way well when you're off-speed pitches.
You slow it down because he only,
and he's a power guy.
Yes. But this, the ball jumps a little bit more here.
Matt, remember what we saw last inning? He's giving the low tracer now.
Yeah, that was low. Okay. Not going to argue right now.
No, but you know what? Remember I said earlier, just stay right there, and you'll end up getting them later on. Once the umpire gets to know how you're throwing the baseball.
Well, all I know is after giving up the back-to-back singles to open the bottom of the 4th, Bieber has retired 6 in a row.
This is, you're right. He's getting better, like he usually does. This is where the Guardians pitchers, they kick it into gear.
Well, what did we talk about in the beginning? Him and Kyle have said from the very beginning of this season, if we're going to be a great rotation, we can't be satisfied with 6 innings.
Right.
We have to take care of the bullpen that's young. We've got to take care of this team and go deep into games.
And people may not think they have, but the Guardians bullpen is still the fewest innings in all of baseball.
Right.
So they have done a heck of a job again, and that's going to help them down the stretch, when you get into the hot months of August, the dog days.
Well, Tito told Matt and I something before the game that I hadn't thought about. With all the, I'll wait till after this pitch.
A little low.
With all the doubleheaders coming up, I believe, 18 games in 16 days?
Yeah, right,
that.
right.
Tito's worried. I think next Tuesday it comes back where you go from either 13 or 12 pitchers. Well, they're going to Major League Baseball saying, can you tell us what you're going to do? Are we going to be able to have the 13th guy or not? Because we got a lot of games and we need to figure this out.
Plan accordingly.
Yeah, they're going to get the 26th man. I mean, or 27th man, I should say, on all the double headers.
So for Shane Bieber tonight, he gave up 2 hits in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th innings. Those pitches were up in the strike zone.
Elevated. Watch where they're located. Hitters hit bad pitches. Now you start getting them down, and what happens? The punch-outs start coming. They don't put it in play. They chase pitches out of the zone. All of his strikeouts have been on pitches down, and the hits have been up. And that pretty much is how it works.
What we were just talking about, right? You know, it's not. We tend to overcomplicate this game, but it's really pretty simple. Right at Jose, he fielded it off to the side.
That wasn't simple, but he made the play.
And he throws out Iglesias.
Look at, they're laughing at him. Rosario's laughing at us.
8 straight set down by Shane Bieber.
Say something to him, Andre.
I'm going to, don't you worry.
Cleveland Guardians baseball brought to you by Levin. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight. Chevrolet, the #1 selling family of SUVs in the Cleveland area. And by Spectrum Mobile. Switch and save with Spectrum Mobile, nationwide 5G included. Restrictions apply. Visit SpectrumMobile.com. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful day into early evening here in Denver, Colorado. And here at Coors Field, the Guardians lead the Rockies 3-1 as we go to the 7th inning. Antonio Senzatella was the starter. He went 6 innings, allowing 3 runs on 8 hits. This is maybe playable. McMahon to the dugout. No, he won't get it. And Bud Black making the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen here in the 7th inning. Jhoulys Chacin.
He was a starter for them at one time. 12 walks, 7.24 ERAs. Right-handers are hitting 328 off him. Lefties just 196. So I wonder if that changeup or something off speed has got the lefties down. But righties seem to do okay.
Austin Hedges fouls one off down the right side.
Matt, there's little things that happen in baseball games that you see every day you take for granted. I love that when a pop-up is hit to the opposing team's bench area, how ball players take care of each other, but not when there's a pop-up towards your dugout. Our guys sat here and let him get so close and told him nothing.
Hey, they're not going to give him help. They don't want to free out.
I love it.
Well, in the old days, before you had the padded fences in front of the dugout, it would literally be the last second as the guy was about to step into the dugout. Then somebody might go up and try to help him.
No, they'd let him fall first and then catch him.
They'd help him up.
Sometimes they never got it. They let him fall down a few stairs first, depending on if you liked it or not.
Hedges down on strikes, 1 away. Well, back in 1988, the Cleveland Indians ball club had 4 guys that would go on to become major league managers, including Terry Francona, Ron Washington, John Farrell, and the guy in the other dugout tonight, Bud Black. Tito said that 1988 ball club was one of the most fun years he had. He said that the conversations that he and John Farrell and Bud Black would have, he said, they're just some of my favorite times in baseball. And, you know, you and I were talking before the game. Buddy Black's only been here 6 years. And it seems like he's been here a lot longer than that. Yeah. But even at 6 years, he's the 4th longest tenured manager in the National League.
That's amazing.
Give me those names again, the managers.
So Craig Counsell's the longest tenured manager in the National League.
I'm talking about the 4 from our team.
Tito, Bud Black, John Farrell, Ron Washington.
And how about Charlie Manuel?
Was he the hitting coach on that club?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Charlie was down there, if not in the minor leagues, but he was a manager too.
Well, Matt, you know, Tito told you and I about that team, and his best friends were Bud Black and John Farrell. So when I came back down, I go, Tito, you were, you weren't a pitcher. Why'd you hang out with them? He goes, because I never played.
Miles Straw, bang, bang play. He's retired, 2 down. Now, Bud Black's been at it a long time, and
Buddy Black's a great guy, good baseball man. He was over there and a special assistant when Mark Shapiro was the general manager. You know, just like they wanted to bring Tito in and keep him around. They like to have good baseball people, and they had them.
Ahmed Rosario, 2 out of 3. Single, double. Grounded out his last time up. Yeah, people forget, too, that Bud Black won a World Series, part of that 85 Kansas City Ball Club.
Yes.
He was 3 years with Cleveland in the late 1980s. Then he came back at the very end of his career, and he was on that 1995 juggernaut Cleveland Ball Club. He pitched in 11 games that year for that team.
Yeah, good guy.
2-1. Chopper to third. McMahon throws him out. Guardians go in order. Stretch time in Denver. 3-1 Cleveland. Well, for the best coverage in the game, let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. The Colorado Rockies. And the Rocky Mountains off in the distance.
Don't get here very often. It's a nice stop, though, when we do.
Yeah, it's quite a picturesque site.
Yeah, it's a beautiful ballpark.
And again, it's so weird. I mean, it's 100 degrees here yesterday, and yet there's still snow at the top of the Rocky Mountains, off in the distances.
That's how high those mountains are up there. Well, a lot of fun flying in, too, wasn't it?
If I remember right, the purple line that's near the top of the ballpark,
that's the mile high.
That's the 1 mile mark. Yeah.
Correct.
This is maybe playable. No, sir. Into the Rockies dugout, bounces on top. Well, Shane Bieber trying to power through the 7th inning. Yeah, there's the mile-high elevation mark.
Yes, indeed. So you could hit a fly ball up there a mile high. Bet you can.
Randall Grichuk awaiting the 1-2. And that's off the plate. Right center, Miles Straw had it played perfectly.
There you go. No, some things never change. Get a good jump on it and run it down.
Our Miller moment back in that 4th inning. 2 on, nobody out. And you're thinking, uh-oh, Bieber might be in trouble here.
Well, he had the bottom part of the lineup he was trying to deal with, and they went through with that slider and a nicely turned double play, 5-4-3, and then the punch out on a 3-2 pitch. And you can see you got Hilliard go after it, didn't get it, and got out of that inning, and he's been cruising ever since. He hasn't given up anything since.
Ryan Servin chased a fastball away, and it's strike 1.
Matt, I'm asking, that 88 Indians ball club you're talking about, did they have Dave Clark on that team as well?
Let me look real quick.
Because he managed like a couple games for the Astros, and I know he was a third base coach for a long time.
Yeah, then went from Houston to Detroit.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Ground ball up the middle. So that snaps a string of 9 in a row retired by Shane Bieber. Yeah, good catch, Dre. Dave Clark.
So there were a lot of good baseball minds.
That club had some neat names. Joe Carter was on that club. Julio Franco, not to mention Greg Swindell, Tom Candiotti, Brooke Jacoby.
Not to bring up any bad memories, but was it 87 they were on the cover, Corey Snyder and Joe?
86.
Is that 86? Okay, all right.
Yeah. And then 87 was a bummer.
Or was it 87?
It was one of them.
I think the cover might have been the spring of 87. Yeah, yep, that's right. Coming off that 86 season.
There are a lot of bummers after that, Arch.
Eli Morgan, he's up. He is getting ready. And Shane Bieber misses down and in. Hey, Dre, just to kind of finish the thought.
Yeah.
So Tito is the longest tenured manager in all of baseball.
Okay.
And do you know who the second longest tenured manager is?
The second longest?
Yeah.
For the same team right now is what he's talking.
Yeah.
That
goes into left field.
Man, hold the ball.
So they've got 2 outs, but you've got a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, he didn't have really a chance, so that was not a wise throw right there. Although it was backed up by Quan. He's coming in. Watch him outside. See him coming into that play?
Nowhere to throw.
Either. So you just hold it.
Right.
I mean, you don't force a throw to give up 90 feet, man. You just Rosario would have got killed. But Quan did a nice job of coming to back up right there.
Kevin Cash.
Really?
Yeah, think about it.
Wow, that makes sense. That's amazing.
He left the year after Tito started in Cleveland, and he's now the second longest tenured manager in Major League Baseball.
I'm sure Blackman's glad that double play wasn't turned. He'd led off every time this game until now.
100 pitches, 72 of those strikes.
Yeah, what a beautiful, again, just he's got his group back, man.
Yes, he does.
Remember, he said before his last start, he said, this is as good as I've felt in a long time.
Yes.
You know, and hey, you forget that shoulder injury, you know, it's all the time you miss, plus all the time you rehab, plus getting yourself back into that kind of shape again.
He was so upset because he had a win in his pocket, you know, and because of the rain and the delay in that ball game. It's unfortunate because, you know, he deserves it as hard as he's worked.
Uh-oh. Tie ball game. Charlie Blackmon's 10th home run of the year.
Well, and that was a breaking ball that stayed up in the zone again. I think we'll get a look at it. But that one swing ties the ball game up here in the bottom half of the 7th. For Blackmon, that is going to be his 10th homer. And that's how quickly you can get back into it. Check the pitch out. It's the breaking ball, and it stayed up. I think that was the slider. And it was out over the plate, and it went right into the barrel and into that bullpen. So we have a new game. And that's the first home run allowed, and this is 7 starts now for Bieber. He's been so good at keeping the ball in the ballpark.
The Rockies had gone 6 consecutive games without a home run, which equaled their longest skid of the season. But timing's everything, and that was a great time for Colorado to get a home run. Oh, pitch is lined into center field. Jonathan Daza with his second hit of the night. That's going to be it for Bieber. He got 2 outs in the 7th inning. He was 1 out away from completing 7 innings and handing a 3-1 lead off to the bullpen. But Charlie Blackmon got him with a 2-run homer. And now after the single by Daza, Bieber's night is over. It's 3-3 in the 7th here in Denver.
Sports Great Lakes is now open. You don't want to miss your chance to win, and the raffle runs through June 19th and benefits Cleveland Guardians charities. Visit CLEGuardians5050.com.
Well, it's a 50-50 game now.
Yes, it is.
It's up for grabs. Eli Morgan's coming on with a go-ahead run at first base for Colorado. Brendan Rodgers will be the batter. Eli's 18th appearance on the year. And he starts off with a fastball for a strike. That's that dead fish changeup. That literally was off the very end of the bat.
I mean, you laugh at it, but it's amazing. If you go up there and try and hit that pitch, it never gets there. They see it, and he sets it up with his fastball, and they're waiting as long as they can. Because they've never faced Morgan before.
Struck him out with a high fastball, and that ends the inning. But the Rockies get a 2-run homer from Charlie Blackmon, and we're tied at 3. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Guardians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Guardians. Tune in tomorrow for Guardians Live pregame, presented by your Northern Ohio GMC dealers. Alan Jensen will get you ready for the first pitch, and that will be 8 o'clock pregame with an 8:30 first pitch time here in Denver.
Yeah, it's different everywhere.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a strange starting time here.
Yeah.
6:40,
Local
first
time,
pitch. Yes.
All right, Alex Colomé, who we've seen before.
Oh man, many times. This guy works at his own pace, wears his hat crooked, but he's pitching pretty well for him. I'll tell you that. He hasn't given up an earned run in his last 15 outings. Goes back to May 11th. Change-up guy. But the last time we were facing him when he was with Chicago, they did very well against him. But we got a new ball game, so they got to get on the board again.
And Jose Ramirez looks at a fastball low, ball 1. Just a bit outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Rockies employ the heavy D to the right.
Heavy on the right. Third base playing shallow short like there's a runner on third and less than 2 outs. Yeah, then after Colomé left Chicago and went back over to Minnesota, and he was part of that team where they expected big things, and that bullpen in the beginning part of that year really struggled to save games. And there's Jose's number against him, 4 for 9 with a double. That's what they need. They need a base runner and have an answer for that 2-run bottom half of the 7th and pick Bieber up.
One hopper right at Rodgers, the second baseman. 1 down. And we'll get a word now from Raleigh House.
Play ball, Cleveland. Shop the latest in Guardian style with your favorite brands and throwback designs. Rally House has gear for every fan.
There's Oscar Gonzalez, a single back in the third inning. Center field, right at Daza. 2 down.
Well, the Grand Slam Beer Fest is coming to Progressive Field on Saturday, July 9th. Sample from more than 200 craft beers, seltzers, wines, and craft cocktails. Plus, enjoy great food and live entertainment throughout the day. Tickets are on sale now. Just visit CLEGuardians.com.
Josh Naylor, the batter, he's 2 for 3, a double, a single, and a run batted in. Once again, the Rockies go 3 on the right side. Alex Colomé, originally signed by Tampa, spent 6 years with the Rays, traded to Seattle, and then in the same calendar year, Seattle traded him to the White Sox for catcher Omar Narvaez.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then as a free agent to the Twins and a free agent here in Colorado. It's almost like, Rick, we were talking before about how the Rockies in Texas, they just seem to produce hitters all the time. Like Tampa continues to find pitching and produce pitchers year after year.
They
and
sure
Cleveland.
do. And you know what? When they're done, they get rid of them. Before they're, you know, they bring in new, fresh arms. The way they use them down there. See Tampa right now. They got beat by the Yankees tonight 2-0. That was a Cole Kluber matchup for 6, and I think both of them gave up zeros for 6.
Battle of Texas goes to Houston. They beat the Rangers 4-3. Struggling White Sox, who started the game 3 games under 500. They beat Detroit at Comerica 5-1. Two down here in the 8th. And the 3-1 pitch. Naylor smokes one. Right center field. Off the wall. He's going to have to hurry. Here's the throw, and he is safe at second base. He went in head first. And he was really, he was putting everything into it.
Well, yeah.
Slow to get up. Boy, it's just.
Well, anytime he hits that ground, and it almost looks like it's better for him to go. Maybe I'm wrong. For a slide like that than with his legs. But I mean, he smoked this ball. That's his 3rd hit of the ball game. That's his 2nd double. And this looked like it was going to be a single because it was a line drive off the wall.
That thing carried, and you're right, Arch. I think it's better for him to slide
it looks that way to me.
It's hard for him to hit the brakes, man.
Yeah, exactly. And you need a new base runner. That's good.
Ernie Clement will come on and run for Naylor, who has a 3-hit night in the series opener.
Yeah, he can.
And Owen Miller looking for that 2-out RBI clutch hit.
But Arch, even that one, look how that ball carried. Now, he hit it well, but you could tell that carried.
In the dirt, what a pick by the catcher, Servin.
Looked like he wanted to try and pick it and make a throw back to second.
You can't throw out red sleeves, Ernie Clement.
I
You got another thing coming.
Red sleeves. It looked like he wanted to. Watch.
Thing stuck in there a little bit almost.
Yeah, got him like in the heel of that catcher's mitt. Owen Miller topped the ball for an infield single his last time up.
Got a lot of right center open. Oh, forced him and got inside on him.
Throw to first is in time to retire the side. Middle of the 8th, tied at 3. Three-hour score. Those two guys are talking over it. Who's that guy at first base with the red sleeves? Ernie Clement. And that's the only change as Eli Morgan stays on to pitch the 8th, and C.J. Cron fouls one off to the right side. C.J. Cron, he tripled in the Rockies' first run in the 3rd inning on a ball that hit off the wall in deep right center field. Skies this one to center. Miles Straw. 1 down. And a word now from Wendy's.
Brought to you by Wendy's Hot and Crispy Fries. Guaranteed, or we'll replace them.
Happy 17th birthday wishes going out tonight to Jack Burke in Fairview, Ohio. His godfather, Tony Burke, was here at the ball game today with his lovely wife, Carrie.
Oh, really? The Bass family.
Our old buddy Tony,
here.
yeah. Fouled off by Ryan McMahon. Off the mask of Austin Hedges. Three game here. Last half of the 8th. Rick mentioned it early in the show. This is a ballpark that yields 11 runs total per contest. So we're still well under that at this point.
Yeah, we're on the under, no doubt. And I mean, that's fun when you get a low-scoring ball game. But it was a 2-run homer in the 7th inning that tied the game up by Colorado.
Yeah, only the 5th allowed by Shane Bieber in the 12 games.
He's been on a streak. He hadn't given up one in the last 6. So, I mean, it was, it's unfortunate that it came at the time it did. But it was a, hanging breaking ball slider.
Charlie Blackmon, the guy that hit that home run,
number 10,
is only, that might stay fair, down the line. It is a foul ball. But Charlie Blackmon is only the 2nd player for the Rockies to reach double figures in home runs.
Yeah.
The only other guy is C.J. Cron.
That ball right there looked a lot like Naylor's going down the line.
Yes,
off the end of the bat, trying to hook it down into that corner.
That's why I thought it was going to stay fair, because it reminded me of that same swing.
Right. I thought it was going to.
McMahon back to the plate. Two hits in his last 15 at bats. And a foul right back to the screen. Tied him up, struck him out. Look at where that pitch was. Right on the inside corner. He had to swing. I mean, this is tough to hit.
Well, watch the elevated heater. That plays up here. Right there. That's a nasty pitch. It's elevated, belt high. Left-handers like that ball down a little bit more. in on the plate. That was a well-located heater.
Jose Iglesias takes ball 1. He's swinging a hot bat, 2 for 3 tonight. Stopped the game. He took 2 pitches.
Yeah, especially that second one, the changeup. You figure he sits fastball that first pitch, but he likes the ball away.
They go away, but it's off the plate, 3-0. Taking all the way. And a 4-pitch walk keeps the inning alive. Randall Grichuk will be the batter. Rick, you mentioned it to me before the game when we were filling out our lineup cards. Rockies don't run. They're not a running team. This is one guy who can steal a base for him. Is this the time in the game where Bud Black might turn him loose?
Not yet. No, you got to wait and see if he falls behind in the count maybe, and you get down 0-2 or something like that. Then you may want to try. But Iglesias has 2 stolen bases, hasn't been caught. They only have 13 as a team. So no, I don't see him running.
Swung out of this.
Back-to-back change. They just don't have a chance. You see, now the coach comes in, and now does Bud Black want to, protect this guy in an 0-2 count is the question. And I've seen Morgan in last inning and this inning, he's elevated the fastball a couple times and would give Hedges a good chance to throw him out if he does. See that? An emergency hack.
Randall Grichuk, by the way, has the same tailor as Carlos Santana.
Yes.
He's got the pants above the knees.
They're not pants, they're shorts. They're not baseball pants, I guarantee it. He took it to the tailor.
How high those things are.
Yeah, no doubt. With the leggings. Now that's the fastball he's getting on. Come back with a changeup and see if he goes at it again. That was an emergency hack.
Another fastball.
Yeah, you see, he loves a fastball.
Arch is trying not to get that low heater called against him.
Yeah.
The higher you pull him up. Come on, Blue. That's not a strike.
Well, he came up as a Cardinal outfielder. He loves the fastball.
Look at that. That's like football pants. Those might be higher than Santana.
Yeah. Wow. Maybe you should ask Hezzy for them thigh pads.
Oh, man.
This has to be the changeup. No, I think he's coming back with a heater.
Now, see that changeup. He had his 2 heaters to hit, and that's when they started. Bud Black knew he was coming back with another pitch or a changeup, off-speed pitch, so he starts the runner. That was smart. That's a guy that knows what he's doing over there, and he just got a piece of that changeup.
Now, you guys both know Bud Black well. Does he know that because he's a former pitcher?
Yes.
Yes, he does. Okay. Absolutely. You give him 2, and he's fouled them off. He's starting to time the heater up, so you take him off that. Changing the eye levels is what it's all about.
Tried to stay back on the changeup.
He's doing a good job of fouling something off. He hasn't seen a slider yet, has he? Throw him something different.
Might have cracked the bat.
Yeah, here's the changeup. He's trying to stay back so hard. You see that thing, and it's off the end of the bat. Yeah, and you crack your bat. That's as hard as you can do to stay back, and you're still way out in front. If you do happen to, you want to go, just show him something different now in this count where it's 0-2. Throw him the slider, but it's got to be down and away. It can't be for a strike to see if you get him to chase, just to take him off the 2 pitches he's already seen. Not for a strike. There you go. Get down there. Went with the heater, is trying to go down with it.
It's a good battle right here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Richick trying to extend the inning for the Rockies. Morgan's trying to get his guys back in the dugout for the 9th inning. Austin Hedges didn't like whatever button he pushed on the push-com system, so he asked for time. There goes the runner. Pitch is high. Throw down in time. They got him. Oh, baby. What a hose. Great throw by Austin Hedges in the slap tag by Jimenez. We are going to the 9th. Deadlocked at 3. Stay tuned after the ballgame for Guardians Live. Post-game, Alan Jensen will break it down for you. Highlights, analysis, and we'll hear from inside the Guardians clubhouse after this one concludes. It's a 3-3 game, 9th inning. And Bud Black, as almost every manager does in a tie game, goes to his closer to try to keep it tied, give his team a chance in the bottom of the 9th. Daniel Bard, 25th appearance on the year. He's 13 out of 15 in those save situations. He's a guy that we were chatting during the break. When he first came up to the big leagues, Terry Francona was his manager, and we know firsthand experience when Tito gets a reliever that can lock it down, your number is going to get called a lot. He pitched in 73 games in his second year in the big leagues and 70 games the year after that. A line drive and a base hit off the glove of Iglesias for Andres Jimenez.
Boy, what a pretty swing that was on a fastball, and I mean a line drive, and his opposition hitting just 128 off Bard, but there was a nice line drive to start this inning by Jimenez. He stayed on it beautifully, huh? See that ball just jump up? Yes, he did, and he got on top of the ball. And you see,
Matt, for our Cleveland fans, if you want to know what Tito thought of Daniel Bard, we were talking about Eli Morgan a couple days ago when he called him a weapon. He says Daniel Bard was one of my first weapons.
The
original weapons right there.
Well, Bard's in his 3rd year with the Rockies. Stephen Kwan, 1 out of 3.
Yeah, he's hit the ball the other way on the ground.
Runner goes.
There.
Ground ball off the glove of the first baseman, Crone. Kwan, he beats him to the bag. It's an infield single, and they've got the first 2 on in the 9th.
That's his second hit today, where he's had to bust it down the line and just beat it out. What great hustle. You can't ask for anything. I thought it was going to be in the hole and go first to third.
I did too.
I mean, at first base, Cron did a nice job of knocking that ball down. But as he flipped it to first, the head first dive, he gets in there safely. Watch him motor. He knows he's got to beat the pitcher to the bag, and I mean, he hustled his way, and what a nice job getting the left hand in there and get an inning started. First and second, nobody out. Now comes the bunt.
Yeah, and is that do you think the visit here? Bud Black's going out to just talk defensive?
He's going situations.
How are we going to play this?
Absolutely right. He's going to talk about everything that has to go on and the situation, because you got Straw on deck if he bunts here, and he's got a bunt in this situation. You got a bunt. When you're a 160, 170 here, you're bunting.
So you always say to me, and again, they have the advantage being the home team here, get it out. So do you roll the dice and go wheel play to try to get the lead runner? Or just play defense, get the sure out?
You got speed. You got pretty good speed at second, good speed at first. Get and out. You can go to get that next guy. You know what I'm saying? No, you got to get yourself an out. Unless the ball's hit right hard, right back to Bard. He can go to third. But I would just
look how far
throw him a high fastball, let him bunt it.
C.J. Crone's already 20 feet in front of first base.
Yeah, they're expecting the bunt. They know what's going to happen. And Hedges is a good bunter, and he has to make sure he just bunts a strike. Unless he's going to butcher boy it, which I don't think so.
He squares, and it's fine.
You don't have to be too fine here. Even if you hit it harder, and you hit it hard to McMahon at third base, he's got to go to first.
But that's the key here. Get it down to the left side.
Yes. Yes. You don't even look at the guy that's on first base. Your job is to bunt it to the third baseman. And it can even be hard and force him to just throw it to first.
And
when you're a base runner, that's what you got to make sure. You don't, if he bunts through it, that's where you get picked off. You just got to wait. He's got to do his job and put it on the ground. As a base runner, you just get your normal lead and then you'll be off. You're fast enough to get there. Especially the two guys they have on the base.
Yeah, Quan has the luxury. He can go way off because there's nobody at the bag.
But he's got to watch who's the man in front of him. Don't overrun him.
Bunted it up, and it's caught. One down.
You know, this is where you try to be a little too fine and lay down a perfect bunt, and he got it, popped it up. So they get the first out. Nobody can advance.
And Miles Straw 0 for 4 tonight to the plate. Rockies playing normal defense now. And a fastball strike. In off the plate.
Well, the inning set up with a couple of singles. Jimenez did a nice job hitting the line drive. Quan hustled his way into his second base hit tonight. They've got the go-ahead runs out there. Can they get it done?
Almost chased. And they said he did go. 1-2 the count.
Well, that was a little breaking ball on the inside part. I don't know if that's a cutter that he's throwing right there, but it started at him. And it was a little in off the plate, but here's the side look as he certainly did go. Wasn't sure about that pitch, so couldn't hold up.
Struck him out looking. Boy, he hit triple digits with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah.
And there are 2 down.
He started him off with, I think, a little cutter. Went inside with a fastball to back him off. He couldn't check his swing, and then he reaches back for what he's got. That's his bread and butter. Good fastball, elevated. He took it, looking, 2 outs. Now Rosario with a couple of hits. See if he can get it done. And boy, that's where they want to stop it because you've got Jose on deck, so he should get something to hit here.
Right back to him. How do you like that? First and second, nobody out, and they cannot take advantage. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th, tied at 3. And Shaw, his first time back. I think it's his first time back to Denver since he pitched with the Rockies. Brian Shaw had a great run with Cleveland under Terry Francona, where he was an absolute workhorse, and then signed a big free agent deal here in Colorado. Now, to his credit, he may not have pitched as well as they would have liked. This has never been a pitcher's paradise. His ERA was over 5 for the only time in his career. But he pitched in 131 games over the 2 seasons he was here with the Rockies. So he didn't go and hide. He was there. He was accountable. He was dependable. Took the baseball. But in 61 games in 2018, his ERA was 5.93. The following year, in 70 games, 5.38 earned run average. But when he came back with Cleveland in 2021, he was right back to the same old Brian Shaw, 3.49 ERA and 81 games pitched, a new career high. Randall Grichuk leading off for the Rocks, 1 for 3 on the night.
Yeah,
he was at the plate when the last inning ended with Iglesias thrown out trying to steal.
They tried to protect him, and yes, that just threw the guy out. He put up a pretty good battle against Morgan, too. After he saw the first changeup, he was down in the count. He battled his way back into it, had some good swings on foul balls. He just hoped that Shaw doesn't leave one out over the plate for him.
Ground ball right at Ahmed Rosario. 1-0. Well, I don't have to ask him. I know Bud Black appreciated Brian Shaw when he was here for those 2 years. Yeah, sure, he would have liked to have seen him have more success, but again, he was there. He was dependable, reliable, and all those kinds of things. And, you know, it was nice before the game that Brian went right over to Bud behind the batting cage.
Yeah.
The two of them talked for a little while.
Matt, I don't want to speak for Bud or Brian, but, you know, he wasn't the only guy that signed in the bullpen at that moment in time, and they all struggled. You know, we talk about Brian because we have him, but didn't they the lefty McGee came here
true.
and he struggled. They both had the same.
From Tampa?
Yeah, they
right.
both had the same contract, and they both struggled. So it wasn't just Brian Shaw.
This ballpark, this franchise has eaten up a lot of really good pitchers over the years.
Yeah, it sure has.
But it made me think about, you know, I asked Tito before the game, why do you think more pitchers aren't managers? You know, Bud Black's kind of the exception. John Farrell, another exception. Most managers are catchers, former catchers, or position players, but not many pitchers. And Tito's like, well, you know, to paraphrase, pitchers, for the lack of a better word, they have to be self-absorbed. They have to be so focused on their craft that it's hard to pay attention to the rest of the big picture, I guess. But Bud Black was obviously.
You only had to worry once every 5 days. Pitchers would be great managers.
Stop! I knew. Matt, you walked him right into it.
Yeah.
Yes, you did, because it's their day. They worry about one day. They don't remember the other 4 days when you were a pitcher.
So maybe a relief pitcher will be a good manager.
No, he won't. He's never in the game. No, but hey, Bud Black has done a wonderful job. He's a great baseball guy. I love him to death. And I joke when I say that a lot, but that's true. I mean, pitchers, they don't see the whole game, and they're not into it like position players are.
And he's got the Red Dog right there at his side, Mike Redmond.
Yes, he does. Murph's favorite player.
He ended his playing career with Cleveland on a line drive to right field that should have been a base hit. The guy threw him out at first base.
9-1 put out.
Ouch.
That was time to take it to the house.
Well, he managed down in Miami. Redmond did.
Well, there's the winning run aboard for the Rockies here in the ninth. And the number 9 hitter, Sam Hilliard coming to the plate as Brian Servin will be. Are they looking for a pinch run? We're going to get a pinch hitter.
Yeah, pinch hitter.
I didn't know if they'd pinch run with the catcher down there at first base. Doesn't look like they will. Connor Joe who's going to be the pinch hitter. Connor Joe can catch, he can play first base.
They keep flashing Joe on the board, and the crowd's getting in there, calling his name out.
He's a bit of a fan favorite.
Yes, he is.
Fouled right back. Joe, originally drafted by the Pirates out of the University of San Diego. He turned down offers to Stanford and to Tito's alma mater, the University of Arizona.
He went.
He got him. Strikes him out, 2 down. And now, the reason this game is tied, Charlie Blackmon coming to the plate.
Yeah, that's why you didn't want to walk or anybody to reach in this inning, hoping you didn't have to get to Blackmon or give him an opportunity here in the ninth. But you can see he gets the strikeout, out number 2, but Blackmon coming to the plate.
Blackmon was just 2 for his last 17 before his 10th home run of the season landed in the Rockies bullpen. He went up the ladder and swung through a fastball. This was back in the 7th inning. And that tied the ball game. Little number right back to Brian Shaw. We've got extra innings in the Mile High City. 3-3 as we head to the 10th in Denver. 10th inning. And the new pitcher is Robert Stevenson, former Cincinnati Red. He's had a rough go of it, 17 innings. A .286 opponent batting average and an earned run average of over 6. You can't set this up much better for Cleveland. They'll have Ahmed Rosario as the runner at second base, and Jose Ramirez will be leading off, and then Oscar Gonzalez. Connor Joe stays in the game in left field. Robert Stevenson has allowed at least 1 hit in 8 consecutive outings.
Well, here's the you can't ask for a better situation. You get the runner, which is Rosario, out on second base. So he's already in scoring position for Jose. Now, what do they want to do?
Are you surprised they even think about this?
No, I'm not. Not anymore.
Yeah, Jose burned him with a 2-run single in the 3rd. He walked, stole the base, and scored. Oh my goodness, that ball ate up Crone all the way into right field. He's headed to second base, and he is safe. Ahmed Rosario scores the go-ahead run. It's 4-3 Cleveland.
Listen to the crowd. He does it again. There's a lot of Guardian fans here. Yeah, and he hustles. This one took a bad hop, sort of like the one did in the 1st inning. Watch, it almost hits Crone in the face. Watch this. There's the hop, and it jumps up, and that thing went above his shoulder, almost got him in the face.
He may have felt it on the whiskers.
I mean, so there you go. You've got a run in.
And they just changed places. I think maybe Crone did get nicked by that ball. He was checking for blood.
Yeah, well, that was scary. That's a hard field.
Oscar Gonzalez, it's a breaking ball call to strike.
You know, I'm to the point now when you get that free runner at second base and you get him in, you get 2 runs in extras, and that certainly helps. You can't be satisfied with 1.
Oh, he went waving at it.
He's got to take a little walk and reset. Stay in there and let him come to you. That right side is wide open. You'd like to get him to third. Clement will be the hitter next because he came in the ball game to pinch run for Naylor, so it's not Josh Naylor. So
struck him out on 3 pitches. One down. They were all breaking balls too.
Yeah, didn't mess around, and he got the strikeout. So he was just out front and just had his timing messed up there.
So Robert Stevenson now facing Ernie Clement. There goes Jose for third base, and the throw is in time, and they got him.
Jose trying maybe to do a little too much. Trying to do everything in that situation. They held him pretty good. And you've got to get a really good jump if you want to steal third base in that situation. At second, they held him pretty close, and he is out by plenty.
The thought process makes complete sense to me. You've got Ernie at the plate. He's thinking, if I can get to third, then Ernie only has to put the ball in play and we can get another run home.
But you got to remember, you're still in scoring position at second. That's getting a little greedy. Unless you can walk in standing, because I mean, they already have a run in. But
that's what I mean with the lead. If it's a tie game, that's too big a risk to take.
Yeah, but still, you want to get 2 in there. You're in scoring position. You got to trust your guys at the plate. Unless you can go in there standing.
I think it's the red sleeves. Jose saw the red sleeves. He charged like a bull. Ernie draws the walk. Inning stays alive now for Owen Miller.
Matt, red means stop, not go.
Yeah, out comes the pitching coach now.
Well, I don't know if it's a scouting report going on here or what when you come out and visit with these two, because at first base, Clement not a base stealer.
Robert Stevenson has now given up a hit in 9 consecutive outings, which is a career high for him. The run that is in, not an earned run charged to him because of the rules.
Yeah, that's true.
Gives Cleveland the lead 4-3.
Yeah, earned, unearned, it doesn't matter. They have a run on the board.
Emmanuel Clase is firing and looks like he's ready in the Cleveland bullpen. Rockies have a left-hander up in the chance that Miller keeps the inning alive. Andres Jimenez coming up. He will not face Stevenson. He'll get the lefty.
I would think so. And maybe that's why he went out there to talk, to slow everything down and then get the lefty ready for.
Yeah, he is the only lefty in that bullpen, Lucas Gilbert.
Well, he'll be used then if he's up.
Pretty good look at him right there. Fastball outside corner.
Well, let's hope it gets to that, where Miller can reach, and they've got to go to that bullpen. At least give Jimenez a chance, because you don't care about lefty or righty. He hit lefties fine.
I'll say, I mean, it's a pretty small sample, but he's hit .393 against lefties, Jimenez, this year.
Yeah, he's not overmatched by any means when he gets in there with a lefty.
But it's up to Owen Miller to make that happen. Down on the count, 1-2. They got him out the last time when they ran it in. He couldn't get the barrel to it.
Right, they didn't get him in last time.
Hit that on the ground to the third baseman. McMahon goes to first. And we'll go to the bottom of the 10th. Emmanuel Clase will try to close out a one-run win for Cleveland. Why he is one of, if not the most dynamic player in the game of baseball today.
Yeah, first base open in his second at bat. Drives in 2. Ends up taking a walk, stealing a base. Error gets him to third. He scores it. It was a 3-1 ball game there. They tied it up, and then in extra innings, that's where he scored. Comes back up with a man on second, and they pitched to him and got a big hop. So he's driven in 3 and scored 1. So it's a 4-3 game. What else can he do?
And you know he's going to go out there and play a solid defense.
Oh, man, let's go. Yeah, you got Clase in. You've got the chance, and, you know, we consider this a low-scoring ball game here in Colorado.
Yeah. Emmanuel Clase on to try and close this one out.
Yeah, he's got to go through the heart of the lineup.
Yep. You know, when Andre and I were visiting with Tito before the game, he was talking about Clase, and, you know, he said, look, he was people forget how good he was last year. I mean,
right,
ridiculous, 1.29 ERA. He said, you know, you can't expect a guy that. There's a one-hop smash, and Jimenez can't corral it. Blackman into third. He'll stop there. Now the Rockies are set up.
See, this is how tough that infield is. We've watched a couple of them tonight barely make plays. Here's a ball that Jimenez thought he was going to get and knock it down, because Blackman thought it was a line drive. I got to freeze. I can't get caught. If he was off and running, which you're not supposed to be, then he would have scored. But that was a line drive with a short hop, and you don't know what that hop's going to do. This is a tough infield. He gets to third, first and third, nobody out.
And here's the strategy. You've got a one-run lead. You're the visiting team. You're going to play for the double play. You'll give him the tie.
Yeah, you'll tie it, and let's go. We'll keep it going with that extra base runner. Unless Clase can come out and get a strikeout.
Which he very easily could.
Yes, right. He's very capable of doing that. But as you play it here, I'll take my ground ball, get a double play, and give the run.
Oh, they take the hit away from Daza and give Jimenez an error.
They did?
That's what I've just been told.
Okay. Do it any which way you want. He's on first.
Little topper right back to Clase. He's
come
coming home. And now Hedges drops the ball. He can't find the handle. Now he'll flip it to Clase. This is wild. Blackman is in no man's land, and he is out. One away.
If he went back to third, he would have been in good shape.
That almost was a complete disaster for Cleveland. Even though it should have been an easy out, I felt bad for the guy. He could not pick up the ball.
Okay, now you've got the guy, and there it is. Now you come running out. He never really had the ball. If Blackman went back to third base, they would have had the bases loaded. He tried to score and just...
He kind of botched it.
That's a good outcome for the Guardians. Oh, he's put a fork in it. Clase did the right thing and followed his throw and going to home plate. So it's now first and second, but they do have an out.
And C.J. Cron, the batter. You don't see a lot of putouts go 1-2, 1-5. Usually they tell the pitcher, get out of the way.
Yes, they do.
Wow, Crone very patient here. It's 2-0.
Well, this has been their big man, driving in the runs and hitting the long ball and hitting for average. He's got 43 RBIs.
Overmatched him with a good fastball.
I think that's a right place to keep it. Elevate it, go away with it. See if those hands are quick enough to catch up to about 100. There's not many that can.
Shoots it foul.
I mean, he still hit that pitch, and that was off the plate. That wasn't even a strike, and it was down, but he still got a good piece of it.
Well, the one thing that worries you in this matchup is that Crone's strength is the ball away, and Clase's cutter runs to the outside part of the plate.
Throw the high fastball up, away. Let him see if he can catch up to that, put it in play.
Ground ball to Jimenez.
End the game.
There's one. Back to first. Book it. Clase gets a 2-for-1 ball. And the Guardians stay on a roll as they beat the Rockies 4-3 in the series opener. Cleveland goes to 30-27 on the year as they snap an 8-game losing streak here in Denver. Take another look at the way this one comes to an end.
Well, he ran something in. He couldn't get enough of it and hits it right to Jimenez, and they turn it over to Rosario. 4-6-3 double play. And that was a nicely done, boy. And I'll tell you, it was all done by Blackman's move to come home. After Hedges dropped the ball, I don't know why he did it, but he did, thinking he could sneak by him. But that saved them. That gave them their first out. And then the fine pitching of Clase, give them another save.
So there's the final score, 4-3. A wild night, a wild finish anyway here in Denver as the Guardians win it. And we'll be back with you tomorrow night for Game 2 of the 3-game series. Time now for Guardians Live postgame with Al and Jensen. And, Jay Lou, Tito was saying it. The one thing about Clase, he may not be better than he was a year ago because he was so off the charts great last year. But he said he's learning how to pitch more. He's learning how to get ready. He's learning the other hitters. We forget he's still only 24 years old, and he showed nerves of steel right there.
Big-time mental mistake. Base running should have just retreated to third base. You obviously had no outs at that point,
right? And
you weren't being forced off of third base by the runner coming around second. So sometimes you got to be lucky. The Guardians were right there after Jimenez makes the error to allow that inning to really spiral a bit. But man alive, it's great to have a 102-mile-an-hour cutter right in the back.
That helps. It does. But man, and when Hedges dropped that ball, and you could see he basically had surrendered Blackman going back to third. Then here comes Blackman home. He said, okay, hey, Emmanuel, there you go.
I'll take it.
Amazing. Cleveland wins in Denver for the first time in 20 years. 4-3 was the final tonight.
I was in high school.
No, you weren't.
I don't even remember back then in 2000.
College.
Graduating.
2002. 4-3 is the final. Plenty to talk about on Guardians Live next.